Hello, all you thoughtfully made people out there. It's Courtney Morrison with Made Architecture and Design, back with another week in review. This time live, something I've been thinking about doing for a while, something I've enjoyed other podcasts doing and people on YouTube, creators that I like to watch and listen to. So I thought I'd give it a go. We'll see if it's working. This is actually take two. So we'll see. Hopefully it's going. So 1 second here. Let me bring up my notes. All right. So, obviously, I'm new at this. We'll see if we can refine our system. It's been a few weeks since I've done a week in review. So happy to be back. I've talked a little bit about this before. If I don't stay in my rhythm of keeping notes throughout the week and recording these on Friday afternoon, I kind of get out of the habit, get out of the rhythm, and it's hard to keep going and stuff. So been off for a few weeks, but like anything else, you just pick it back up and keep rolling. So last Saturday, we did a camping day with my daughter that the children's program at church puts on every year, and we go to a lake a little north of here, and they do kayaking and fire making and marshmallow roasting, and there's a playground and all kinds of stuff outside. And so we really enjoyed doing that as a family, getting lots of outside time for my daughter and for us. And on Sunday, church with the family, and then family birthdays with my wife's family here in town. And then Monday, back in the studio, I've been working on this attic project for a family nearby here who has a existing house, and they're going to convert their attic into usable space. And so we had developed the permit drawings, and I sent them to the owner, and he had some questions. And so I went and sat down with him, and we walked through the permit drawings, my drawings, as well as the structural engineer's drawings, and talked about what was in there and what he could expect, and questions that he had and things like that. And so that was good. And then on Tuesday, election day, hopefully everybody voted. And I think we're all glad to have that out of the way, I think, regardless of what's out of the political spectrum you're on. Glad that election season is over. And then so Tuesday, I have a client who I've had for a little while, but they've had some life event stuff come up and haven't been able to start their project, but now we're getting into it. They are looking to add a detached garage, but their site is pretty severely compromised. They've got setback issues. They've got a sanitary sewer line easement through their yard that we know about thanks to a survey. And I've talked before how you guys need a survey. Every project needs a survey. And so we know about that. And so really I was working to figure out how we could fit their garage in, what their programmatic needs were, and look at the zoning code, which has some restrictions in it, and understand the variance process and things like that. So that part of it is what I worked through on the conceptual side. And so that's something I do with all of my clients and all my projects, is really work through a concept phase, trying to figure out all the parameters and constraints and regurgitate those into a drawing format so that we can talk about it and understand what we're able to do. And then on Wednesday, I had breakfast with a guy who we met through church, but had never sat down and talked. And he's an attorney, and just got to sit down and talk to him. And it was a really good time and enjoyable meal. I liked that a lot. And then continued on with the garage project. On Thursday, I drove out a little east of here for the hardware store project that I have. I've had this one for a little while too, and we're finally getting going. I went and measured the space. It's 2 buildings on an existing site, pre-engineered metal buildings. And, it's the square footage is really not that much, but it's, the site is a lot. They want to do a turn lane off of a GDOT road, and we've got civil engineer involved. I met the MEP engineer out there, but the buildings are really not in great shape. There's water damage. They were auto repair shops. There's oil everywhere. It's going to be a lot to clean up and do and get them into good working order. And then continued on with the garage project after that. And then Friday, today, now I went and met the family who's doing the garage and talked through the garage options with them and got some feedback. And that was really great. And then today also spent some time with a friend of mine who's an architect in Los Angeles. I've talked about this before. If you don't have a peer group, you definitely need a peer group. He works for himself by himself. So do I, but we're on, opposite sides of the country. And so we don't really compete with each other. And so it's great that we can talk and bounce ideas off of one another. And so he has a new retail project. It's small, 1,200 square feet, but it's pretty complex and it's going to require a high level of coordination. And so he just had questions and wanted to pick my brain about his proposal and time and cost and drawings and all this stuff. And so really nice to do that. And I hope he gets the job. So that's all we got for this week. Coming up next week, I've got a meeting with the client who's going to do the modern house down south of the city. We got pricing back. It's a little bit higher than what he wanted to spend. So we're going to do some work to try to get the cost down a little bit. I'll probably do some work on that this weekend, which is pretty unusual for me, and spend as much time with the family as I can. And then we'll get into it next week. So hopefully take two worked live on StreamYard, and we'll be able to, refine this process as we go. And hopefully I'll get to interact with you guys a little bit more. Like I said, it's something I've seen other podcasters and YouTubers, not that I'm a YouTuber or a podcaster, do, but I just something I wanted to try. And so here we are, we're doing it. If you guys have questions, comments, thoughts about who we are, what we do, how we do it, leave them below. I'd love to interact with you guys through the chat here on StreamYard. I'll figure out how to do that, or through the comments below. I'd love to answer some of your comments or questions live on air here. So that's all we got for now. You guys be particular, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care.